Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Amplified server. We're back here in the Nether Hub doing another intro. Feels a little bit deja vu-y. In fact, it kind of feels like a double deja vu. You know, every time I talk about these intros, I was just thinking, we have done 360 episodes of this series. I am not surprised every time I record it feels a little bit like deja vu. But anyway, enough about that. Let's look at the Nether Hub right here. I know some of you are excited to see what we do with this. This isn't the intended finished design. I've been meaning to put some detail work into this for a while now, and loads of you have been suggesting ideas for the ceiling as well. And today we're going to get round to doing this. I've got so many cool ideas that I want to try out, and hopefully we'll find something that really suits this place. But first of all, we're going to talk about a couple of other things. If we head over in this direction, I've done some work on the... what was I calling it? The Nether Furnace, I think is the name that I gave for this. And as I said, done a little bit of work on that. Also over here, a couple of ghasts have spawned inside of here. Zul'jin was saying that he was actually getting shot at through the walls. But if we have a look at this sign, it says, "Watch out, ghast, named and in a cart for Biffa." So there's one that's been caught. And it kind of looks like it's either on the blocks above, or maybe it's an upside down one, like it's been renamed to Dinnerbone. I can't really tell from here, but I should probably leave it alone if it's been shooting through walls. But anyway, before we have a look at the Nether Furnace, you guys need to ask me some questions. That's right, you need to ask me, because I'm going away on a vacation and I've got some planned special videos for while I'm away. And one of those is going to be a Q&A episode. So feel free to leave a comment, ask me a question. I'll go through those, pick out the ones that I want to answer, and then we'll have a little Q&A mining video, you know, the traditional style, and I'll answer your questions. But as well as that, I'm going to do a couple of other special ones as well. For example, we're going to do a tour of the previous world. For those of you that haven't seen the Wastelands, you need to see that. And oh, I can't wait to see some people's reactions. That was one of the best projects I ever did, and I was kind of aware that perhaps some of you have never seen it, because this is a new season and there's lots of new people watching. And as well as that, I'm also going to do a video where I talk about my plans for the future on YouTube, which is something I don't normally do. I have a lot of plans, a lot of ideas, things that I put into action, but I never really talk about them because I kind of don't want to let people down if plans don't come to fruition. So this time I thought I'd make a change and I'd actually let you know about all of my plans for YouTube. So that's also going to be another interesting video, and that's going to be while I'm away next week. So there'll be 3 different types of Hermitcraft episodes. So anyway, let's talk about the Nether Furnace. Again, I was thinking about the logic of changing this up, and after a while I realised that because we run the minecarts over these hoppers right here, we kind of make things a little bit more difficult for ourselves. If we were to chain hoppers on top of it, around from this, so this is our input. If we have a look here, it's all full up at the moment. That chains around the side here, and that means all of the hoppers can pick up the lavas from one place, which is this right here. And this is a Minecart Unloader. So when this thing is full, I realised that it actually stops, and this kind of solves 2 problems. You see, now we've got a system that's going to distribute the lava to all of these. It's not going to do it evenly, but in an overflow principle where we have tons and tons of stuff coming through, then it's all going to go in there. And should that actually be empty? Yes, I think that makes sense if it is empty. I guess it came up here with just enough to fill it up, so that's why that's empty at the top. But anyway, let's try and give it a nudge so we can see it come down. Do I have any building blocks on me? Got some netherrack left over. There you go, go on your way. And down below we've got the loader. Actually, I think that was kind of pointless because he's just going to come straight back up here, right? I think so. He's going to fill up first. Anyway, I can show you what's going on here. So I've taken tons and tons of lava out of this area and filled up this thing, so that one at the top there is full, and off you go. And so now this means whenever it needs lava, it's going to come down here. There's so much of it, it can fill up all the way and then go back up to the top. But now when it gets to the top, this Minecart Unloader, if this thing right here is full, it's actually going to stay in the state where it won't let it leave. So this thing operates on the principle that when this is empty, i.e. when the minecart above is empty, then the redstone torch is able to turn back on, which powers this block and powers the rail, so it sends the minecart back down. So now we don't have this minecart forever going back and forth, up and down the tracks, while nothing is happening. And what's interesting is when I logged on today, the minecart chest had also disappeared, which is kind of worrying, but luckily all of this right here is pretty disposable. Iron's cheap, there's a massive lava lake, so we don't have to worry about that happening again. But I don't think we need to come back and work on this project again now. This is a pretty solid solution for what we've got going on, and all I need to do is go down there and fill it up with lava from time to time. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out. And I'm glad I figured out the logic eventually. You know, with redstone, it's like compacting a singular contraption, even something like this. Eventually, you end up figuring out something that was simpler to do than the thing that you thought of before. So anyway, now I'm going to get myself prepared. I've got some ideas I want to put into action, and we're going to do some work on this part of the hub. So, step number 1 for the ceiling is lighting, and here it is. This is some interesting looking lighting right here, isn't it? I saw this on the Plot World server, and I love it. I don't know who came up with it, but it's really cool, and I'm just looking at it and wondering if maybe the banners should be 1 block lower. So there's a few things that I wanted to try here. Obviously, that being one of them, I thought I'd start off with colours, and I can pretty much guarantee we're going to rule out yellow straight away. It's just a little bit too strong, but I brought some colours here that I thought could go with the sandstone, and I think red is going to be the most appealing, and it's been the most requested to put alongside the sandstone. Now I've noticed that sandstone is a colour you can mix with a lot of other ones, especially the walls as well, so I think red wool is something that we're going to use a lot in this. So the black one and the white one, nothing too spectacular, but I think it's going to be red that we go with. Now we can also add a little bit of detail to this, maybe a fade over the top of it, nothing too fancy, but certainly something to break up just the plain colour. So anyway, we are going to fall off. That wasn't part of the plan. And I'm going to remove all of this netherrack so we can have a look from down below. And it would have been much easier if I'd have managed to stay up there. But let's just do this little bit on this side so we can have a look at the red quickly. And there we go. So that should open up the view a little bit. And they kind of look a lot smaller from down here. And walking through this hall, looking at that on either side, I kind of feel like maybe they need to be inwards a little bit more and also drop down a block or two more. It's a nice start, but yes, I think we're going to need to make some changes. But red, I'm going to say it straight away, red is the colour we're going to go with. It just feels right, so I think I should follow my instinct here for once. Usually I'm second guessing myself, trying as many things as possible. Hello. And we're going to grab the axe so we can quickly lower these, do a quick test. Pick both of those up and put these... Oh, that's right, once you place them they kind of get a tag. Hopefully they're still clonable after that, because I'd like to clone these obviously if I'm going to add a die or something like that, you know, a little pattern to make it a little more interesting. So when we lower it down by 1, let's drop down here as well. It doesn't have quite the same feel. I think it really does work with it a little bit higher. Yeah, it's kind of hanging off. You see more of the bottom side of the banner and more of the iron bars. We're going to go with that, and we're going to try and find a different position. So maybe we'll move it in and down a little bit. I don't know if I should move or not. But there it is. Is Biff still online? Oh, he's not. Okay, so a ghost just spawned up there on the netherrack, and we're not going to keep that guy. We're going to shoot him. But I turned around, and that was quite the surprise. Quite the surprise indeed. There we go. Good shot. So I've played around a little bit with this in different positions, and this feels like the best one actually. I tried it 1 over to the left. I also tried it a further 1 over, so it dropped down a couple of blocks, and that created this kind of square arch. If you imagine that across the middle, and it just kind of threw the curve off. So this doesn't really take anything away from the curve, and they are a little wide, but I think now that they're lower it's just about right. And I've also been thinking, do I want to have another texture above there? I think maybe the andesite or breaking away from using andesite might be a good idea. Perhaps something like the slab, because it's got like a line across the middle. That might work. Yes, I'm going to think about other textures. Oh, and I was just going to go up here and grab these now. I know we got them in the right position, because we want to put a little bit of a fade over them, add some detail as well. Or maybe even a design altogether, because we can clone all of them once we've got the design down. And you have found yourself on the edge of the hitbox from the iron bars, haven't you? Yes. So anyway, I'm going to investigate what we can do with that. And let's see if we got a ghast here as well. I don't think we got one. Ah, there we go. That's a nice sight, isn't it? And I've run out of all of my red wool as well. So we're going to have to stop right here. When we finish off this little bit, there'll be a few more to do. But for now, we're going to focus on this middle section, which is pretty much most of it. And I'm going to leave this in because I've got a feeling we're going to be doing lots of work up here. But there you go. So what have I done right here? Well, I've put a white gradient going from red at the bottom to white at the top, and then put a, I guess red, no, it would be nothing at the bottom and white at the top. So then you'd see the red from underneath. And then I put another red one over the top of it, so it creates this kind of nice phase like this. And then I put a red border on it, and I thought that was just a really nice, simple way to bring a little bit of detail to it. And I think the border is what makes it work so well. So very happy with how it's turned out. If we go down here, I think it looks just about right. I know the netherrack's in the way and it's kind of annoying, but it just feels good, and I love the slabs above it as well. That works ever so well. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out, and now what we need to do is work on the walls a little bit. They are a little bit plain. I'd like to bring some more red in places, and also throw in some other details as well. So I'm going to gather some materials, we're going to try a few things, and I'll bring you back in a moment. So Full Symmetry had sent me over an image. Someone had tweeted her or something like that, a picture of them playing around with the design that we got here in the hub, and they put a lot of different details and things into it, and I was looking at it for inspiration. There's a couple of ideas I liked. For example, using some fence posts. Now this right here kind of looks alright. I feel like the spruce looks a lot better because the brown goes pretty well with the yellow, whereas these are just a little too similar. But anyway, if we walk further back, this bit right here, it just doesn't look right having one of these in the middle, so I'm not sure about that, or maybe we could just leave it over there. But if we come further back, I've continued to play around with these. For example, we got some fence posts up there, and I thought I'd bring in some trapdoors, and you know what, I really don't think that works with the ones up there. Maybe these need to be too deep and on each little wall bit. So yeah, as I was playing around with the trapdoors, I noticed that they look alright kind of on the bottom of the andesite like that. It's like a cap or something at the bottom of the beam, but I put a few more down and I really wasn't too sure about it. I think I'd actually like to keep the andesite nice and plain. So at the moment, tried a few things and not too sure what to go with, so I'll continue to play around. But I've got a feeling if we remove those trapdoors and maybe extend these down by one extra, that might look pretty good, and then it could go all the way across the entire thing from one side to the other, although on this side it'll be a little bit more patchy, so maybe we just leave it alone on that side. But we could also work on putting the detail at that height. If we just have a look here, the entire way across it doesn't get cut off, with the exception of this bit, I guess, a little bit. So I just made some changes that look pretty damn cool. I just finished clearing away the netherrack, looked up and I was like, wow, that definitely works. That really did work. Can you see what I've done? It should be pretty obvious. We got some red clay going across the side here, and I actually thought I would have gone for red wool. However, I've completely run out of it, so we've gone with the clay, and maybe actually that would have been more suitable. And then a little bit of detail around it, you can see some slabs and stairs, and that really does work. I'm so happy with how that's turned out, and it complements, of course, these things in the middle here as well. So we're starting to get there. Things are starting to change. I feel like we're going to need some more detail up here in the top, in the middle, maybe something to break up these surfaces, and also just having a little bit of wood in this area, a few things going on. It kind of feels like, yes, we need to have something going on these walls that as they come down. As they come down, does that even make sense? No. But it doesn't matter, because anyway, we're going to go and design a banner next. Another thing I wanted to do this episode was get rid of the blue one right here for the Hermit Hills, and then the one at the other end as well. And someone actually just tweeted me an amazing design. Now, unfortunately, this design uses 6 additional layers, so I had to remove one, so it's not quite as good as the one they sent me, because you can only make it in creative. But in survival, we can make something that looks very, very cool. So I'm going to go grab the materials, we're going to craft it, and plop it down, and I think you guys are really going to like this. Alright, this is going to look awesome, and I'm going to show you how to make this as well. So the additional layer that you could put first of all is a green flower. So you get one of those white flowers, I forget the name of them, I forget the name of everything, it feels like. But you put that in first of all, that just adds a little bit of detail here, and this is going to make so much sense as it comes together. So let's just put in the layers one by one here. We then want a black dot in the middle, and then we want a notch apple. That's right, this thing's going to be expensive. We're going to throw one of those in there. And you're probably thinking that pattern looks really weird. Well, it does. It's also not a pattern. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, let's just put in that bit at the bottom. And yes, it probably looks a little bit awkward and weird. And then we put in the final layer. And this is where the magic happens. So now, ooh, that looks interesting, doesn't it? What is this banner for? This banner is representing Hermit Hills. Now I changed this slightly. See how the top bit here is a little bit brown? That was the same colour as this other stuff, and I wanted to just change up the colour a little so it had a little more detail. But with that flower in, there would just be an extra bit of green around the side here that looked like some bushes. But it does look like some hills, and that is absolutely awesome. Or a single hill, a mountain, a lonely mountain, like Erebor. Hopefully I said that right, from Lord of the Rings. But anyway, let's go down below and put this in the Nether Hub. The quickest way, I'm pretty sure, is this way, actually. I'm always torn between the two places, because my base is pretty much between the two nether portals. Sometimes I do just start waffling on, don't I? And you know what, when we change this over, I bet other people are going to notice the banner And then they're going to wonder where on earth they're going, because the only place you see that is when you actually look down there. And we don't need to change the sign, oh, wrong one, or update it or anything like that. And there you go. Oh, that really does jump out. That really does sort of like, oh, what's that? And then Hermit Hills. Oh yeah, it does kind of look like a hill. That's awesome. Thank you, whoever tweeted that to me. I've got you on the other screen, actually. Alright, Nuggets is your name. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Of course, you can all tweet me if ever you got banner designs you would like to share. But that one really does look awesome. Alright, things are going great. Look at this over here. Just a couple of bits of spruce wood and some cobblestone stairs. No, cobblestone walls. That's right, I don't know why I said stairs. But there you go. It does look a little bit better now. It's going to look strange because we can do it on this side. But on this side over here, it's pretty much always going to be broken up. And having the occasional ones in there will make it look odd. So where you got bits like this, if you look at it from back here, kind of different on one side. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I might end up taking all of this out. But anyway, I want to show you what I've done up the top. And I've left the scaffolding up there intentionally because I like the perspective from up here. I don't know why, but when you walk across like this, you just see everything from an entirely different perspective, and it feels like you're on one of those walkways, you know, up in a big room, like a maintenance walkway. But anyway, what we're now going to do is remove the sandstone. So let's just drag all of this back. I'll pick all of that up, don't worry about it, and we can take a look at what I've done. It's very simple, but very effective as well, and I like the kind of detail that we're going for here. A lot of people, when they do detail, they've got quite a style about it to add in lots of things and lots of noise, and I feel like my style is to more or less go with what's nice and simple, and we should actually have a look rather than pick up all of this sandstone. So there you go, not a big change at all, is it? We've got a trapdoor in the middle, and now that I look at it, I'm thinking maybe we could have done with a couple more, like perhaps there, and then space out the slabs in between. But anyway, you got slabs on the side as well, and that just breaks up the kind of smoothness of it and just adds a tiny bit of detail. I like it. Be sure to let me know what you think about it as well. Obviously, me and building, I'm always unsure of myself, whereas this time I really do feel like even though these little bits are subtle, the way the things are on the side, the way the red pops out over here and those banners, this just looks gorgeous to me. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. The one thing at the moment though is just these walls on the side, so I'm going to continue to work on them. I'm also starting to think about lighting as well. If we just look over here, it's a little bit moody, and when we try and add some lighting to this, we may run into the same problem as what we'll run into on the other side, which is that it will get all broken up by these entrances. But now I've just had a little bit of an idea slash inspiration. Let's see if we have any glowstone. It's always going to be in the last place you look, except it's possibly not. And the reason it'll be in the last place is because you won't keep looking. Oh, and the glowstone's in my inventory. Brilliant. Okay. Right, so what I'm thinking is we can go over here. Alright, so this is what I was thinking, and I can tell you it's a no straight away because it just puts too much light on this right here, and I really do think it benefits from being a little bit moody and being further away from this glowstone. So that's not where it's going to go. If we were to lower it down by one, we'd be on this ridge, and that one gets totally broken up across all of this wall over here, so it would look like really odd. In fact, there'd probably be only like one or two pieces of glowstone on this side, so that wouldn't be a place to put it either. And I'm starting to think if we take a step back here, there's a couple of spots that are moody, but if we have a look, there's light coming from down below here, so all of this kind of looks okay. And then it just means that this bit over here is a bit moody, although at the moment it's fine because of the glowstone. So maybe we just need some more lights on the ground, lights coming from other things, maybe not the design itself. So I'm going to take this out for now. And again, I feel like we're getting there, but I need to make some more changes here and there, maybe come up with one or two more pieces of detail, and also get more of that side finished. So we'll make some progress here, and we'll take a step back and check things out. Alright, so this one's going to be a little bit shorter now, I think. I was just thinking I really need to get on with recording some other videos. You know, as I said earlier in the video, going away on a vacation, and I want to keep the Hermitcraft every other day thing going for you guys, which has been a lot of fun so far. I've really been enjoying it. Felt a lot more connected to what's going on, you know, being on here pretty much every day. It's been a lot of fun. But anyway, I've copied some banners over here. We're going to go and put them up the top there, and I'll show you a couple of other tweaks and changes that I've made. But at this point, I just feel like I want to let this settle and then get some feedback from you guys and the other peeps here on the server. Peeps, that word has been added to my vocabulary thanks to Slipgator. So if we go through this way, we can obviously get to the end portal and the iron golem farm. And it doesn't really stand out, that one, does it? It kind of blends in a little bit too much and looks a bit odd. So maybe what we should do is put some different blocks back there. I'm not sure what we could use, actually. I've got a whole bunch of them over here. So let's have a quick browse and then pick some. Do you know, I get up here, I place down the iron blocks, I put the banners on it, and as soon as I do that, the word Sandstone pops into my head. Because then it would blend with the background a little bit more. I don't have any on me. I must have just put it all into these chests. I've been dumping so many materials. And once again, just loads and loads of materials keep accumulating in these chests. I'm forever crafting stuff that I've also got back at base, but I hate taking the trips back and forth. And so I like this because I'm working in one area. So I guess having loads of these materials is starting to make it a little bit easier just to stay in the area and continuously work on things. So if we stand on this and fall down like that, we'll pick up the item before it goes all the way down. Hopefully you know that. Hopefully you've been playing for a while. That's a pro tip if you didn't. So let's put that one there and put the other one to the side of it and drop down. Aha! Yeah, that kind of works, doesn't it? Not 100% sure about it, but I think that'll do for now. And as I said, I made a couple of other changes around here. Have you noticed them? I put in some lighting at the back here. I figured if these walls look moody, there's probably other places around here where we could add some lighting. So I've put the one down on that side, there's one on the other side as well. There you go, sea lantern that is. And the other place I put some lighting is actually around here. I was looking at the banners and thinking they need to be illuminated a little bit. So I put down a sea lantern. It was a little bit too bright, so then I thought I'd lower it by one block and put some glass on top. And you can barely see that there's a gap there, which looks really cool. So we hardly changed anything, and now we've got a little bit more brightness around this area. So you can see I've also reduced the amount of spruce fences and made it so it goes all the way across, and I think that looks lovely and I'd be really happy with it, but I am kind of worried about the symmetrical thing with how different it is on the other side. So at this time I'm going to leave it up to you guys to give me some feedback. Can't wait to hear what you say. I'm probably going to do a little bit of off-camera work in here, just tidying up a few more things, but that is going to be it for this episode. If you have enjoyed it, and if you want to see some more Hermitcraft every other day, leave a like down there, and also remember to leave your question for the Q&A episode, and that'll be coming out when I'm on vacation, which I'm really looking forward to at the moment. So yeah, I keep going on about it, don't I? So I'll shut up about that. But anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching this video. I have a second channel where you can find additional videos of my Twitch live streams. If you're interested in watching one of my live streams, then come over to Twitch and hit that follow button to be notified of when I go live. And if you're not subscribed over here on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe for more content like this. I also have a creative plot world server, play.xisumavoid.com, where you can build on your own plot and join in the fun with our wonderful community. And if you like social media, then you can interact with me on Twitter at xisumavoid.com. Links to all the relevant things can be found in the description box below.